Okay, let's talk about a situation that's way more common than you might think. For so many successful people, there's this weird, frustrating gap between making a great income and actually building real, lasting wealth. Today, we're going to talk about how to build the bridge across that gap. And trust me, it's a wider and more dangerous gap than most people realize. Does this hit close to home? You've worked your tail off, you've climbed the ladder, you've secured that high-paying role. But that feeling of true financial security, the kind of wealth that feels really locked in, it just feels like it's still just out of reach. It's a strange place to be, and it's super common for high achievers. There's actually a name for this. You might be what's called a H.E.N.R.Y. That stands for high earner, not rich yet. It means you're absolutely earning at an elite level, but you're also dealing with an equally elite cost of living. And that pressure cooker makes it incredibly tough to actually stack up real, meaningful wealth.
So why does this happen? Why does that gap seem to widen over time instead of shrink? Well, it usually comes down to two really powerful forces that are constantly working against you. We like to call them the twin wealth killers. Okay, first up is lifestyle inflation. This one's pretty obvious, right? Your income goes up, and so does your spending. The bigger house, the nicer cars, the more exotic vacations. It just happens. But the second one, this is the silent killer, the cost of procrastination. Every single year you wait to put a real deliberate strategy in place, the finish line for your financial goals just gets pushed further and further away.
And here's the critical thing to understand. The value you have to get across, from income to wealth, it's not staying the same size. Every year that these two forces are just left to do their thing, that valley gets wider and it gets deeper.
But hey, this is not an impossible problem to solve. Not at all. There is a very structured, very clear way to get across that valley. We're about to lay out a 4-step blueprint that's designed to build that financial bridge from just having a high income to having lasting wealth.
So here's the roadmap. It's 4 simple steps. Step 1, we have to solve your liquidity gap. Step 2, we need to build wealth with taxes at the center of the strategy. 3, you've got to protect your earning engine. And then finally, especially for you business owners, step 4 is integrating your business strategy. So let's dive into step 1.
So what on earth is the liquidity gap? Well, it's that feeling when your net worth looks fantastic on paper, but all your cash is trapped. It's tied up in your primary home, or it's locked away in retirement accounts you can't touch. And what that means is, when a fantastic business opportunity or a great investment comes along, you can't jump on it. Your hands are tied.
The solution here is something called a bridge account. Now, think of this like a strategic cash reserve that sits right between your everyday checking account and your long-term retirement funds. It's designed from the ground up for penalty-free access, giving you the freedom to grab those opportunities without wrecking your entire financial future.
Okay, step 2, building tax-centered wealth. This is huge. For higher earners, it is not about what you make, it's all about what you get to keep. And this means going way beyond just maxing out your 401k. We're talking about advanced strategies like mega backdoor Roth conversions and something called asset location, which is just a smart way of putting your investments in the right kind of accounts to slash your tax bill. Now for step 3. And I've got to tell you, this one requires a pretty big shift in how you think about your finances. We need to have a serious talk about protecting your single greatest asset, and I'm willing to bet it's not what you think it is.
If you ask most high-earning people what their biggest asset is, they'll probably point to their beautiful, multi-million-dollar home in a place like Del Mar or La Jolla. And yeah, that's a massive asset, no doubt about it. But they're wrong.
So what is it? What is your actual biggest asset? What's the one thing that powers everything else in your entire financial world?
It's your ability to earn a high income. That's it. That is the engine. That engine pays the mortgage, it funds the investments, it supports the entire lifestyle. If that engine suddenly stops, everything, and I mean everything, grinds to a halt.
So how do you protect the engine? Well, not with that standard policy you get from work. You need specialized disability coverage that's actually designed for a high earner's lifestyle. And you absolutely need a strong umbrella liability policy to protect everything you've built from unexpected lawsuits.
And that brings us to the final step. And this one is specifically for you business owners. Because for you, your personal wealth and your professional wealth are completely tangled together. They're one and the same, and your strategy has to reflect that.
Let me just ask you a really simple but really important question. Do you know what your business is actually worth right now, today? Not what you hope it's worth, not a guess, but its real fair market value? So many founders are just too busy running the day-to-day to even know the answer. See, a truly integrated plan means you have solid answers for these things. Are you ready for succession? Are your buy-sell agreements up to date? And maybe the most important one, do you have a tax-efficient plan for your eventual exit? These things cannot be an afterthought. And really, this just brings us right back to where we started. You have already done the incredibly hard work of building a high income. That is a huge accomplishment. The next chapter, the next move, is about strategically turning that income into real, lasting, secure wealth. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. We've established that your income is the powerful engine driving your whole financial life. The real question you need to ask yourself is this: is that engine built on a foundation of stone with a solid, deliberate strategy, or is it sitting on a foundation of sand?